One thing I would like to note here is that off of these instances, he's so sure that you're going to tech that when you show patience here, that is when you can take advantage of him, right? We notice this guy likes to shimmy a lot to use a lot of jump shimmies. So in these cases, play patient. Even if you have to take 2 or 3 throws, that's okay. Okay, it doesn't matter. You gotta put it in your mind the fact that getting thrown is not the worst thing in the world, but eating a 40% combo from Bison is. Alrighty, let's see what the Akuma got for us today. With that being said, let's see how we handle pressure. Okay, so off rip, number 1, I do like the fact that we're patient here, right? We took our turn here, but just something to note is the fact that you can punish this if you press it a little bit quicker than that, okay? So you want to put in your inputs a little bit quicker than that. That way you can get your pressure started like that, okay? Just putting that out there. If you be a little bit more confident. The key in these situations here is to notice where his knee kind of lands. So like you see how his knee kind of is into your body? That's kind of the key that I look for generally to punish this. If you notice that his legs, his knee barely even reaches you as opposed to it going into you, you know what I mean? Then you gotta be a little bit more careful that way, right? But just be a little bit more confident there and you got it. That was a great anti-air DP. Punish. Okay, do you have routes for this? Okay. So generally we don't want to take routes if we don't necessarily have the correct for it. So I would even say just keep it simple. Like you went for a good punish here and I appreciate you being meter efficient. However, I think you were just still a little bit too away from the corner to get anything substantial here. I think you could still get walk forward medium kick, but that would be a pretty tight link even at that. Nice anti-airs. Man, you are diamond already with those anti-airs. So off of these instances, right, you get hit here. Ideally, if we want to force the situation, we know this bomb is coming, we want to be a little bit more hyperactive here and then even go for something like this. So if you clicked on this video, I'm sure you need some help. Lord knows I did at some point. But here's the thing, you want your favorite content creators to come and help you, but let's be real, they're charging like $60 per hour. You don't need that, but when I got you good. Over on this channel, I do free coaching sessions on Tuesdays and on Thursdays at 6:30 p.m. EST. So what does that look like? I essentially go over your matches. I give you tools so that you can succeed the next time you open up rank. So once again, join my Discord. Wait till I'm live either on Tuesdays or on Thursdays 6:30 p.m. EST. Be there or be square. And yeah, I'm not your favorite pro, but I'm available. Those pros are not available. So once again, join the live, get better, and I'll help you improve. Back to the video. So you want to go for something like that, right? Just to kind of force that situation. Now, the reason why you want to force this situation here is because if you do get this situation, number 1, you throw him, which means bombs away. And even if he techs this situation here, it'll at least keep you invincible for the blast. Okay, so the way you're structuring your offense is a little bit okay? After this, right, there's no need to go for an option like that, right? After this, all we have to do is make them block, right? We don't necessarily need to do anything extra, right? We can even do something like this. So we can even go for an option like this, right? Be a little extra with it. And then he has to block that situation, right? We can choose the pick of the litter, right? We can go for that option, go for throw. The scariest thing about this situation is the fact that he has to respect this because you're plus here. Okay, so just keep that in mind when you're going for your offense. You can structure your offense in a way where he's plus in your face as opposed to going for a heavy punch into fire fist, right? because Fire Fist does not leave you plus, and you have a plethora of plus on block moves. That area should ideally be your domain. Nice check on the drive rush. Next time, here's the thing, okay? Next time, if we're gonna go for a drive rush check, be confident in your drive rush check, okay? So what I mean by that, if you know you're gonna do it, commit to it, right? Because if you do it quick like this, see how you don't get anything? But if I touch him, I'm gonna get the rest of it, right? That's the thing about it. So if you're gonna do it, be confident in your press. Don't be afraid to go for pressure, okay? As long as you press it quickly, you'll get your thing. One thing I'll say about you, you definitely have your anti-airs all together, and that is very impressive. So things that we can do to avoid situations like this is that when we're waking up with an option, don't be too eager to go for tech here. Reason being is that it's because he hasn't technically shown all too often that off of these situations he'll go for throw, and even then taking a throw is much better than eating a counter hit. So in these situations, if you're going to try and do something, I would suggest sometimes mixing up between throw, between pressing crouch jab, and going for other options, right? So off of this situation here, we get slid upon, you know what I mean? If I'm like deciding, you know what, I'm gonna mash, right? Now we're in this advantageous situation, as opposed to the situation where we try to avoid a situation in which we just illy timed it would seem, because we could still get throw anyway. So this right here is another situation where you went for tech, where patience would have served you a lot better. And then now off of this situation, you got to think of it like this. When you're knocked down or in the corner like this and you have this much health left, you have to remind yourself that this is final game, let's call it final game, final round, you know? And off of this instance, the only way he can truly kill you is if he shimmies you. If he throws you, you still have another chance to play the game. But the moment you go for this, that's the moment where the game ends. Obviously, we're in platinum, which means the game doesn't truly end, but that's the concept. Yep. So we were forced into a situation that looks scrambly, and then as a result, we're forced into a situation where we felt like we had the DP, we DP'd, and then we got hit. More on this situation right here. I'd like to go back for a second. Okay, so let's suppose I'm in this situation here, right? I am committed to not teching. So if you throw me, you throw me. But one thing you're not gonna do is do that to me. I'm gonna take my turn and then I'm gonna go from there, right? Because the moment you do this and you stop him from going from the options that he wants to go for, that is the crucial part. So we're doing a good job of sniping the button here. The only thing here is that you need to mix up your options sometimes, okay? Because a lot of the time we're going for button here. So then when we go for button here, we should be switching it up between both throw and strike. Because currently, as it stands, he's not afraid of you going for this, because you haven't shown him that you're willing to go for it. That's why diversifying your offense is super important, right? Making sure that we're changing up the way that we're structuring our offense on a consistent basis makes it hard to read, makes it a lot more difficult for them to do their typical defensive options upon us. So one thing I would like to note here is that off of these instances, he's so sure that you're going to tech that when you show patience here, that is when you can take advantage of him, right? We notice this guy likes to shimmy a lot to use a lot of jump shimmies. So in these cases, play patient. Even if you have to take 2 or 3 throws, that's okay. Okay, it doesn't matter. You gotta put it in your mind the fact that getting thrown is not the worst thing in the world, but eating a 40% combo from Bison is. So one habit that I want you to start developing is that if you're going to press, I want you to press with more confidence. Okay, this is another situation here where we had the advantage, right? We pressed thinking that we were going to get something. Either A, off of this instance, we go for a jab into DP, or off of this instance, we go for jab into crouching medium punch, right? We have to be more confident in our presses. By doing so, We're enforcing a certain level of trueness to the way they play the game, right? And if we're able to continuously do this, it makes the game a lot harder for your opponent. What I'm basically saying is to, instead of going for this option here, which is also not a bad option as well, by the way, not saying that's a bad option, but if we're going to press our crouch jab, press it with purpose. Press it knowing, being confident in the fact that you're going for this button. That's all I ask. Okay, so off of this situation, we went for EXDP. I'm not mad at it. Now in these situations, these are the moments where your defense is tested. Okay, we're gonna see how you go about this. Okay, this is good. I have no problems with this. Unfortunate you didn't get the punish there. You went for the whole combo after recognizing you missed, and that is unfortunate. So going back to that situation, it could definitely been played out better. Let's go back. So let's look at everything that conspired in this moment, okay? We're playing good. We're playing the walk back and forth game, making sure to not press too many fireballs, because remember, he can EX Psycho Crusher through them, right? Through a fireball, kind of checked him. Was a little bit slow on catching him when he whiffed the eye here. Granted, it's a little bit hard to catch him off of these instances, right? You threw it, you jumped over him. After this instance, I would even go for something like this, right? Or alternatively, you know what I mean? You really do have the pick of the litter off of these instances, right? We were a little bit slow. Let's say we just go for something as simple as sweep here, right? Now he's in a situation where he has to guess or not. Now he's healing damage, and now he's in that situation, right? We got to make sure that we're not missing our combos, because our combos are how we survive in this world, okay? Even though we missed this interaction here, we're still plus, right? After this, right? After this instance here, we're +8, okay? Meaning that we could technically press it again. We can press crushing medium punch into a Tatsu situation. Unfortunately, it was too far, and then we didn't get the confirm. Sometimes it's good to take the easier route. They're known as tournament combos, right? And then for that situation, the tournament combo would probably just to confirm into Fire Fist. Just keep it simple. Crushing medium punch. Oh, you counter hit. Crushing medium punch. Fire Fist. And then force them into a situation where they have to guess between strike and throw once again, right? So let's suppose I'm in that situation for you. And now he's in this situation where he has to guess, right? The key point of this is to force your opponent into the guessing situation. Your plus, right, has to guess. Here we can just wait, be patient, and then go from there, right? The key part is making sure that we're getting the proper hits, okay? Because now he has to guess. Make his life as difficult as possible, because sometimes going for the most optimal thing can sometimes put you in a more difficult scenario. Okay, he just ran at you. There are a couple of games here where he did round start a drive rush. In these cases, we want to take a note about our opponent, the fact that he's willing to go for an option like this. Once we write it down in our mind that our opponent is willing to do something like that, it'll make it a little bit easier to prepare for such situations. Just like how we have to keep a mental note that the fact that this opponent also likes to do neutral jump shimmies. So always going for delayed tech is going to be your worst enemy, because he's going to continually go for it. Once again, like I mentioned, you want to diversify your offense, because as it stands currently, you're going for a lot of the same type of defense, right? So it's not making him worry about too many things, although he's pressing like a madman. So instead of going for continued pressure here, right, it might just be good to slightly walk forward, because if your opponent is willing to walk back like this, then he's going to walk back. So meaning if he goes for walk back on a consistent basis, right, it might be good to just check our opponent to see if they're walking back, right? It's a good way to catch your opponent lacking. right? And the thing too is that the reason why I'm choosing this as opposed to like an option like this or whatever have you is namely because if you don't know or you're unsure, this is still a safe way of going about it whilst getting some damage on the board, right? And then from there you can force him into a guess. The other thing that you need to start doing is that when you knock down your opponent, mix it up between just raw throw, right? Do stand jab into throw. You know what I mean? Do stand medium punch into slam. You know, like diversify your offense so that you're still plus and you still have your opponent still has to guess on what you're going to do. Okay, so it seems from here it kind of looks like we lost hope here because after a certain point we missed that and then everything just kind of went screwy from here, right? He got the jab punish messed up, then immediately you go for level 2 even though you know your opponent's been doing jump shimmies the entire time, and then unfortunately, you know, you just die here, or you don't die yet but you're pretty much dead because all you got to do is, well, not sweep at you because sweep would be very dangerous. But regardless, I hope this helps you get a little bit better with Akuma. And once again, comment down below if you want to see more, and comment your CFN if you want to be next. With that being said, what'd you learn?